Okay, so there's this question asked, and I just want to, let's take a breather. Let's take a break from everything that's going on. Let's get back to our spiritual nature. What makes us happy outside? What makes us happy, despite all the chaos that's going on in the world, because this is what the world wants to do. They want to take you away from your God essence, your godly essence. They want to get in the way of you and God and create this distraction, this disturbance in your life, so that they can kind of, you know, take you off of your path. They want to make you fall off your path. So we're gonna get back to, you know. So there's this question. It says, how would you convince an atheist God is real? The biggest question I've been asked is, oh, hold on, I had a call. Okay, so I just got off the phone from that call. Okay, now let's get back to it. And this is from my own opinion. I don't have the Bible on me right now because they say you should know when somebody talking like this, you should go ahead and whip out your Bible and pray about it. But I'm going to speak from my own opinion at heart and actually just let y'all know how I feel about it. So, again, the question is, how would you convince an atheist God is real? The biggest question that this woman has been asked is that, what's the proof and who created God? So when your children come to you, eventually they're going to ask the same question. If you're a heavy believer and they ask you about, who is this you're worshiping? How do you, from my experience, when I was younger, all I had to see was that passion of Christ and just experience the feeling of God. Like, if you feel that feeling that God is around you, why would you not believe that God is real? I feel like, so being an atheist, they don't have that leeway to God. The fact that you're an atheist, you've already denied God. You're not gonna, you can't convince this person to believe in God. You can't convince them because they don't feel what you feel. They don't see what you see. They don't hear what you hear. They don't have the senses, that God. They don't have that godly essence. They can't experience what you experience because they're not godly people. You turn the cheek from God, God turns the cheek from you. If you don't have enough room in your heart to accept, oh, there is a God, you're not even allowing space into your spirit to say, oh yeah, God, I want to get to know God. Atheists, they don't have no type of want to, want. You have to want it. If you don't want it, that door is automatically closed. So it's just like, as an atheist, the first step for them to believe is the step first to take. You have to take that step of faith. The fact that you don't have faith to the situation, how can you convince an atheist to believe in God when they don't have any? They're not open to believing in God. So then when they come at you and hit you with these questions, what's proof? What's the proof? Well, I wouldn't be able to provide you proof because you're not godly. You don't even believe in God. It's not in your thought. You don't have the seed of God in you. So how can I give you proof if you don't believe? Just as, God says Jesus says in the Bible all the time. How can I show you if you don't believe? Even the righteous have a hard time believing. They can see it right there in front of you. They can touch God's garment. God can heal the sick. God can heal the blind. He can go over there and, a woman can touch his garment and be healed. He can, he can do all of these works and wonders. But if it takes the righteous, it's hard for the righteous to even believe, even right there in front of their face. They touch the garment. They see, the holes in his hands. They see the wounds in his sides, and even then they don't believe. So how do you think you can convince an atheist to believe? You can't convince an atheist to believe. If it's hard for the righteous to believe, it's no chance for the atheist to believe. You already made your mind up to the matter. And who created God? Now that question alone is just like, Boom. That's like a shot to your head. Who created God? Like, that's a question that a child would ask. Like, if a person actually came up to you and was like, what's the proof? Who created God? Like, who created you? Who created you? You know, that's what you got to hit them back with. Who created you? You know, it's like you don't believe in your own creator. That's the question. That's what I would say. I mean, that's the only answer I could give to this person. If they said who created God, I'd be like, who created you? Boom, I'm done. Who created you? You know. But like I was in the car and I was on my way to church and this lady was just pointing out all the signs. She was like, yeah, we just looking at the sky and there was like a whole bunch of clouds in the sky and she was like, see all of the world, like how can you not believe and you see? You know, it's just the same as how can you believe and not see? It's not about what you see, you know. It's about what you feel. And it's about your faith. Faith is the seed to believe. You know. So yeah, that's my little perspective about this question. Y'all give me a little bit about y'all insight if y'all would like to. If not, just, you know, take this with you and just think about it, you know. Take your mind away from the world. Step back into your faith, because at times like this, it's trying your faith to where the world separates you from God just a little bit too much, and, you know, you back trying to figure out where that balloon went. Like, where'd my balloon go? You know, you're trying to figure out what happened, you know. So now it's time to just sit back, reflect, and when the world is testing you, you know, the world is only testing you for a reason. The fact that you are God's child and you have a lot of faith in God, that's what the world is using. The world is using you just as in when, you know, the devil was testing God's child. He was like, where's your God now? Where's your God now? You know, in this situation, you know, you're being evicted. What is God going to do for you now? You know, all of these people is coming at you, this, that, and the third, trying to, you know, attack you. Where's your God now? That's what the world does. That's what their intention is. Their intention is for you to lose your faith, for you to break down and be like, in this moment, be like, I don't know what to do. And then next thing you know, you're out on the streets and you're like, God didn't help me. God didn't help me because I'm evicted now. You know, God didn't help me stay in here. I was supposed to stay in here. You know, that's your faith in the world. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about. The faith in the world is like you believe that God is going to get you out of this situation with your electric bill. You believe God is going to get you out of this situation with your gas, your lights, that's all in the same category. Your car broke down, your housing. God is trying to get you out of a situation with people. People are evil. If a person has God in them, you know, then you can probably kind of get some type of understanding out of the situation. But if it's a devil seed and the devil is in these people, there's no way God is going to help you through people. The best thing that God can do for you is to work through you. Although you're losing all this stuff, and you notice that a lot of people that believe in God does lose a lot of stuff. They lose a lot of worldly possessions, because the first thing God is teaching you is to detach. If you don't want to detach, I'm going to take it all away from you, because this is the very first lesson I want you to learn. I am not within these worldly things. If you are of the world, you are not of me. So the fact that y'all believing in all this, I'm going to keep my apartment. I'm not going to get evicted. My car is not going to break down. I'm going to go out here and, do something, and I'm going to show the world that, I could have ended up here. I could have ended up in jail, and now I'm not in jail because God saved my life. No, God is not in this world. God is not of this world. God does not work through this world. God works through you. God works through life. So when you have just, keep believing and keep having faith in the unseen, because this is what they want to do. They want to break you down. They want to take away your faith. They want to see all of this bad. They want you to, pour all of you and pour all of, they want you to pour all of you and pour all of your faith into the situation just so they can snatch it. Don't let them do that to you. Don't pour out your all and all of your faith into this world, because all they want to do is take it away from you. That's what they're trying to do. So the best thing you can do is keep your faith and keep praying and keep believing that everything that God puts you through, every situation that God puts you in, there's a reason. There's a reason. So, yeah, don't let this world get the best of you. And, if something happened like this, it's just because, 9 times out of 10, it's the devil. The devil has control of this stuff. There's nothing you can do about it, This is God's roof. This is the devil's roof. This is God's roof. This is the devil's roof. Don't let this get the best of you. So, yeah, with that being said, like, comment, subscribe, be notified, share at your own free will to show you care. Bye. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Be notified and share at your own free will to show you care.